Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and today we are going to be picking out my February TBR. This is the first TBR that I will be doing for 2024, so it's very exciting. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, I do have the playlist and I can link that down below of the ones that I started last year. But I am going to kind of go over the rules. So I have 6 knives in my set. So I throw 6 times to get 6 different prompts on my box. And then I pick a book for each one of those prompts. Now, the way that I started doing it last year was that if I didn't finish a book in general, I would add in an extra throw. I'm not going to exactly do that this year because I am going to give myself a little bit more freedom to not finish a book. So I'm going to make it to where if I read 100 or so pages into that book and I am just not in the mood for it, or if I'm not enjoying myself reading it and I decide to stop, then I am good. If I don't read at least 100 pages in that book, then I will add in an extra throw. I also have all of my prompts written down on my computer, and once I hit a specific prompt 3 times, then I will add in an extra throw as well. Also, I have a handful, they're kind of hidden up here. I have a handful of rewards. I don't have a little jar for them at the moment because the one that I did have was Christmassy, so that got put away with the Christmas stuff. But I do have rewards for if I finish all of my prompts at the end of the month. This one, like for instance, is a DNF pass, which is pretty much that if I don't read that 100 pages, then I get a pass and I don't have to do an extra throw. I also have like mood reads, things like that I can swap out if I finish all of my books for a month, and I can use it later on if I want to swap one of the prompts out for a mood read or whatnot. I don't really remember what all of them are, so we'll just deal with that when we get there. I also have my TBR jar is one of my prompts, and that is my physical TBR. Every book I have on there, I have written on a little slip of paper. The blue ones are the ones that I had pretty much before December of 2023. All the yellow papers are my newer ones that I've bought since like December going into this year. So I do have this as well. And I think if there's any other questionable prompts, I'll just explain those when they come up. Like I said, I throw 6 times for 6 prompts. So I should generally have at least 6 books on my TBR. Sometimes there will be more than that due to getting a prompt 3 times, or if I don't finish books. So let's get to it. I actually did my throws last week because it was sunny and there were dry spots, and I'm really glad that I actually did that because it is snowing outside right now. So let's just get right into it. I will insert all of that footage as we go like I usually do, but just know that was last week. So I have my books figured out, and so let's get to it. Prompt that I got was book jar, and so that right off the bat will get us one of these for my TBR jar. I'm gonna shake these up. These are the only ones that I don't have anything chosen for yet, so we're just gonna try it out and see what I get. Hopefully it's not gonna be anything crazy long because I'm kind of trying to fight off a slump right now, and it's not going too great, so we'll see. Alright, so we'll give these like an extra shake, and let's go with this one. So it is one of the blue ones. It is one of my older ones. and that is A Time of Courage by John Gwynne. Okay, so A Time of Courage is actually book 3 in the Of Blood and Bone series, but the first book is A Time of Dread by John Gwynne. So I'm going to put this one back into my jar, but I will pick up A Time of Dread, which is actually kind of perfect timing because I just finished Wrath, the final book in the Faithful and the Fallen series, at the beginning of January. So I'll be able to just jump right in and start reading the first book in his spin-off of that one. That I got is intimidating. Now, since I am kind of fighting with a reading slump, I didn't want to pick something huge for this prompt. And so the book that I have decided to go with for intimidating is Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Bastarrica. It's not very long, but I've heard really mixed things about it, and I'm not really sure if it's going to be like my kind of a horror book. It is definitely, from what I know, body horror. It's basically about eating any kind of like animal meat is frowned upon or not legal or something along those lines, or not available. I'm not really sure what, but it's not a thing anymore. And so instead of eating animal meat, people have actually turned to cannibalism. And the main character, I don't know his name, but the main character in this, he's a butcher and has somebody come into his shop as somebody who's going to be killed, and he has some kind of a relationship with it. So I'm not really sure entirely like where the plot's going to go. All I know is it has to do with cannibalism and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure if this is going to be my kind of a horror or not. And I don't know if I'm going to like it. So it is pretty intimidating for me, but I am very curious to try it because I've heard both good and bad things about this book. And like I said, it's not very long, so I did pick this one up for my intimidating read for February. The next prompt that I got is my most recent purchase. So I actually just did a big purchase from Book Outlet where I have, I think it's 6 books that are on their way to me in the mail right now. However, I did actually, after I placed that order, go into Barnes & Noble, and I did want to get some kind of romance-ish books on my TBR for February for Valentine's Day. And so the one that I found is Practice Makes Perfect. I found out after the fact that this is technically book 2 to, I think it was called When in Rome. And so this is actually a book 2, but I don't know if they're connected or not. I don't believe so. I believe that they're like separate. So I am going to be reading this one for my most recent purchase. It says that Annie Walker is trying to find her perfect match, and she's not really sure how to do that. And so she basically enlists this guy, Will Griffin, who is a bodyguard, to basically teach her how to find a guy and whatnot. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to think about this one. I don't read a whole lot of romance, but I've had some of the fantasy romance books that I've been reading lately, and I've really enjoyed those. I read Winter in New York in December for Christmas, and I really enjoyed that one. So I thought I would try this one out and see what I think, and hopefully I will like it. So the next prompt that I got is by Sarah. Now, I have a really unusual last name, so it's hard to find authors with my same initials, which is SU. And so I decided to add in a prompt that's by Sarah, which is a little bit more broad, a little bit easier to find. So the book that I chose for this prompt is The Boy with the Bookstore by Sarah Echeverry Smith. This is another one that's supposed to be a romance that is about a girl who owns a bakery that butts up next to a bookstore, and she has these wild, crazy ideas that her and the boy that owned the bookstore can fall in love and basically have the best of both worlds, a bakery and a bookstore all combined into one. However, there is a major problem with that, and that is the fact that she finds the guy that owns the bookstore completely intolerable. So circumstances happen that they have to, I believe, fight to keep their bookstore and their bakery open, and they have to kind of come together and join forces to do that. So this one sounds like it's going to be really fun, and I think I'm going to really enjoy it, and so I'm really excited to try this one out for my by Sarah prompt. The next prompt that I had such a hard time with. So the next one I got was, it landed right in the middle of number in the title and thriller. And I wasn't really sure what to do because the one thriller that I could think of off the top of my head that had a number in the title and was also a thriller was The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. And I have actually unhauled that book. I don't own that book anymore, and so I wasn't really sure what to do. I debated on splitting them up and just having numbers in the title. So I had grabbed, The Woman with Two Shadows. I grabbed Ready Player 2. I was, debating on that. I also grabbed a thriller. I grabbed Reckless Girls. And then I realized that for as hard of a time as I was having for this, I have Woman 99 by Greer McAllister that I hauled a while back. And I remembered in the synopsis at the very bottom, it says a historical thriller rich in detailed deception and revelation. So this one is actually a historical thriller with a number in the title. So I'm very excited to say that I will be reading Woman 99 by Greer McAllister for February for this prompt. The synopsis says that when Charlotte Smith's wealthy parents commit her beloved sister Phoebe to the infamous Golden Grove Asylum, Charlotte knows there's more to the story than madness. She risks everything and follows her sister inside, surrendering her real identity as a privileged young lady of San Francisco society to a nameless inmate, Woman 99. The longer she stays, the more she realizes that many of the women of Golden Grove aren't insane, merely inconvenient, and that her search for the truth threatens to dig up secrets that some very powerful people would do anything to keep. Now, this is going to be the fourth book that I am reading by Greer McAllister. Every single one of the books that I've read by her previously, I have really, really enjoyed. I've read Girl in Disguise, Magician's Lie, and a couple months ago I read The Arctic Fury by her. And so she's kind of turned into one of my auto-buy authors because she writes historical fiction, but it's not the usual historical fiction. It's not based around World War II. It's not heavy romance. It's just women-based historical fiction, and I really enjoy her writing style, and I really like the books that I've read by her before, so I am extremely excited to pick up Woman 99. The last prompt that I got with my knife throws was 500 plus pages. Now, I had a hard time with this one as well because I have The Slain Divine by David Dalgleish. That is the third book in the Vagrant Gods trilogy that came out on January 9th that I have been talking about so much, and I'm so excited to read it. And that's what I wanted to choose for this prompt. However, when I looked at it, that book is not quite 500 pages. It's like 490, 470, something along those lines. So it's not quite there. And the book that I was looking at is also one that can be classified as an intimidating book, which is part of the reason why I wanted a shorter book for my intimidating book. Because the book that I chose for my 500 plus page read is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I am extremely excited to try this one out. I've heard really mixed things about it, but it intimidates me. From what I've heard, with it being very wordy, complex and whatnot, I'm really intimidated by it, but I am really excited to read it. And this is also going to be for a video that I'm working on that's going to be coming out in May is the plan. So I am trying to get a jump start on that video as well. This will be the first book that I am reading by R.F. Kuang. I do really, really want to read The Poppy War, but I just haven't gotten my hands on it yet. I haven't gotten those ones to try it, but I really, really want to. But I am going to be choosing Babel for my 500 plus page book. This one is just a little bit over. This one is 542 pages, but it's pretty dense, and I bought this copy of it because I want to be able to annotate it. I didn't want to get a library copy of this book because if I want to annotate or like make notes of things or whatever, I wanted to be able to do that. So I bought a copy of it, and I really hope that I'm going to like it. I've heard some people say that it's amazing, and I've heard other people say that it's just too much. So I really want to try it out and see. It says 1828, Robin Swift, orphaned by cholera in Canton, is brought to London by mysterious Professor Lovell. There, Robin trains for years in Latin, ancient Greek, and Chinese, all in preparation for the day he'll enroll in Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation, also known as Babel. Babel is the world's center of translation and, more importantly, magic. Silverworking, the art of manifesting the meaning lost in translation using enchanted silver bars, has made the British unparalleled in power as the arcane craft serves the Empire's quest for colonization. For Robin, Oxford is a utopia dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge, but knowledge obeys power, and as a Chinese boy raised in Britain, he realizes serving Babel means betraying his motherland. As he studies progress, Robin finds himself caught between Babel and the shadowy Hermes Society, an organization dedicated to stopping imperial expansion. When Britain pursues an unjust war with China over silver and opium, Robin must decide, can powerful institutions be changed from within, or does revolution always require violence? So I've heard amazing things about this author. I know that Yellow Faces was a big hit in 2023. And I also want to try that one out. And like I said, The Poppy War, that one has been a huge hit over the years with, it's The Poppy War, The Dragon Republic, and The Burning God. I really want to try those ones out. I think they're going to be really, really interesting reads, and I think they're going to be really good. But for right now, I am going to be reading Babel for my 500 plus page read in February. So officially, that is 6 books, and hopefully I will be able to start the year off on a good note and be able to finish all 6 of these in February. So here is the stack, plus I have A Time of Dread by John Gwynne, which is the first book in his Of Blood and Bone spin-off series that he did after The Faithful and the Fallen. So I will have that one as well, which is kind of a chunker, but that's all right. And so these are the 5 of the 6 books that I will be reading in February. Let me know if you have read any of these and if you have enjoyed them. And if there's anything that you think I should know or that you would like to see me pick up in a future video, I would be really intrigued to hear that. And wish me luck. This is going to be a pretty hefty TBR once I get the last book in there. If you like this video, please like and subscribe down below to see more from me. I am hoping to do some reading vlogs and some fun videos for February, as I always try to do. And I am working on getting a lot of things going for this year since I took off the month of January. So please let me know what you think of these and if you enjoyed them or not. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Happy reading, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. you.